We've sold thousands of properties. We've helped, thousands of clients. Because if you say there's not much to show. I mean, you're brand new, right? So that will make you feel more comfortable when you talk to people. That's why you have associated with a great office that backs you up. And that's why you can talk and we can help you in any scenario in real estate. We have a solution for you. If you don't have it that immediately, you ask, okay? The only thing you need to do the only thing you need to do is just ask where to find it. We have everything. Do not try to break your head and try to come up with things. We already have it. The book that I was talking to you about, the MREA book, that's a compilation of ideas of more than 10,000 awesome agents that Gary Keller have put together and have taken the best ideas and put it in a book. I mean, it's not. They are not only KW people. It's from all the other realty companies too. They have great ideas. Why? There's no secrets, and there's plenty out there for all of us. You guys, if you see here, it's about reporting your daily 10-4 about the activities you have done. That's why they give you like a minute or two to report that. Most of you have not done that, but do that by tomorrow's class. I mean, try to connect, call, write notes. So you're supposed to bring some notes also to write here. What are the notes for? When do you send a note in this class that you're taking right now? It's just a follow-up. You get in touch with somebody today, you send immediately a note that you have talked with someone yesterday, and it's like, double, you touch that person twice, and there's like, okay, so it was not just a casual communication, and just thank them for, taking your call and things like that. And that's why it says here, be prepared to share your daily 10-4, bring supply of note cards, business cards, and stamps, so you can do that. You have that. I mean, do you have any notes to write to anybody right now? Okay, you too. Anybody else? Anybody else know about that? No?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might want to wait for the next session because I missed the first couple ones. I don't have any
All right.
materials, and I don't want to have too many holes.
No problem. Well, I mean, we're going to do like 3 minutes if you want to write a couple of notes while I'm getting also interacted here. You didn't share with everybody else, like I asked who you were, how long you're in the business.
So I used to have my license like 20 years ago. I just had it for one period, did a handful of transactions working with a couple of other agents, but I wasn't really in a position in my life at the time to fully commit to doing real estate.
Okay.
So I got my license renewed in November. So I'm just trying to take all these pieces and put them together to build a business.
And you're going to make it much easier than it used to be before when you have to carry that book with all the addresses and things like that.
We had the MRIS back then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was computerized, but it's not quite as sophisticated as it is now. I mean, the map feature that's on there now, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, trying to figure out where the property was located. It was nice, yeah. I remember that because, like I said, we used to do BPOs, 250 a week, try to figure out where everything was, do our routing, so we don't go like from Maryland to Virginia back to Maryland and DC and stuff like that. So it was fun. Okay. How about you? Introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Susie Zatkowski. I'm brand new to real estate. I'm still waiting for my license to come through.
Okay.
So I just started off in December.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
All right. We'll talk about the stuff, where you're getting a little stuck right now and what you need, what you want to do. That was our meeting that took place a little while ago. Those committees are here for you to help you. Okay. When want to make sure everyone is successful here. My objective is I want to reach out to everyone that has not had a single transaction last year. Want to know why? I want to be in the business. I want to make money. We can help them out. Because it's not good if you sign up for real estate and you don't even rent a home. What are in the business here for? Unless you're just a referral business that you can refer people so you can get your commission. Because if you're not licensed, you cannot get the commission from a transaction you refer to. You can still make money, you know that, right? Now that you have your licenses, if you don't want to do a transaction, you can refer that out to any agent that is willing to take it, and they'll give you like 25%, or depend how much. Okay, so
I'll be back for the next session.
sure.
Thank you.
So gather, let's see. What else we have? Contacts, note cards, laptops, tablets, tablet, laptop. The thing is, why the laptop? We're going to be using the MLS to do some search. I mean, we can probably break up in two groups since you have a laptop, so we can see that. Let's see. Daily 10-4, she talked about that. Why preview 10 homes? Practice, basically. Once you've been in one home in a particular area, neighborhood, you pretty much know how they look like. And when you're talking to clients, you'll know what they're talking about. Oh, I've seen this home. You can take them there. What else do you have? Turn to page 8. Lead generation. Where you asked to bring your database so you can call today live. There's some scripts there too. You have a list of your database?
Still building it.
Okay. Well, actually, your phone is your database right now. Everybody in your phone?
Yeah, a lot of people on my phone are on this area.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the contacts that I have in Facebook and LinkedIn and on my phone, they're all over the country from my last career. So right now I'm in the process of trying to gather the information that I need to add people to my database. I'm asking their permission to add them to my database.
Gotcha.
So that I can put them on a drip campaign.
Okay. One thing as far as someone coming in from a different area that doesn't have a database, a local database, try to get involved in, local schools, PTAs, if you have children. If you don't, you can sponsor also PTAs, okay? Because, I live in the neighborhood, I can sponsor whatever. If anybody refers me, somebody who wants to buy, sell, I'll donate this much to the PTA. You'll see. You're going to start getting some phone calls there. So that's something to keep in mind. And for others like you have local contacts, introduce yourself. I mean, you just one of the things is it's not just calling. Do you know anybody that wants to buy, sell, which is classic? Give them homework. If they're your friends, I'm with Keller Williams now, and we have a goal. We're going to help 100 families this year. So because I know you, and I know that you have lots of people that in your church, whatever. Can you help me out? I'm going to call you next week and see if you can get somebody that wants to buy, sell, invest, or rent in real estate. Can I count with you? Simple. I mean, one of the things we have, the scripts, it's like, do you know anybody? The immediate answer is no. End of the call. Just go a little further, give them homework so that will work for you, and see how it does, okay? So, 20 minutes of making calls, but you're having right now. You're not prepared. That's one of the things. For tomorrow, please select 10 people that you will call tomorrow. So you do that assignment tomorrow, okay? And have that list already with you. Because if I tell you right now, it's like you're going to be spending money trying to select who you're going to call first. For tomorrow, have that list. So when it's time to do this exercise, it'll be easier and you'll be ready. Okay? Finding buyers. Okay, basically, finding buyers is simple. Servicing buyers inexpensive. Earning with buyers is quick. Tell me any experiences that you have as far as finding. How do we find buyers? Anybody?
Well, similarly, you have to build your database, you have to talk to people so you know who's in the market to buy a house.
Okay.
You can advertise on Facebook, you can advertise yourself on Zillow.
That's the beauty of today. I mean, on the internet and everything else. Especially now with the millennials, it's all about technology. Okay. And basically, what they tell you about buyers, not hard to find. Open houses are a great place, and because of the internet, all the open houses are advertised in on the internet. When we put on the MLS that there's going to be an open house, it's already picked up and blown out in the whole internet. And so when you go to Google, open houses in Falls Church, Virginia for this Saturday, you'll see the list. And that's why people that are trying to maybe buy a home, not right now, maybe in the future or something, that's how they start. Let's look at houses and see, how it is. They don't have an agent yet, and that's why we have a lot of visitors in an open houses that are not represented. And that's why there's an open house class coming up next week. Probably going to give, but they're going to give you the tools exactly how to advertise, how to maximize and get something out of that. You just want to be there to open the doors. You want to get business out of that, okay? Most of the time, they're not represented. And obviously, they're going to tell you when the question is like, how do you hear about our open house? Well, I saw it on the internet. Oh, great. That means probably not represented. Sometimes they will say, my agent sent me. Oh, wow. Okay. Do me a favor. Can you give me your agent's name and email address? Because since you're represented, I'll give them a call or send them an email so I can give you information about this property if you have any. And that's when they, no, But there's certain tricks to because there are people, it's like when you go to shopping, Macy's, whatever, can I help you? And you say no. It's like, instead of like, what are you looking for? Unless you're not looking for anything specific, fine. You're just, wandering around. But if you want to buy something specific, why can't they help you? It's going to be like, okay, right there. And we have on sale more information. But people, all of us, we are pretty much the same, right? So you try to talk to them, make them easy, and it's gonna work for you. The other thing is we have an app, the KW app. That's another tool that you can give to anybody that shows up to those open houses or just even in the street. Like, when you start talking to people, try to be also with your name tag. I know sometimes like, when you take it out. Why? You want business? Sometimes they'll approach to you and say, hey, you're in real estate. Yes. Boom. There are agents that have on the back of their laptops, ask me about the market. I'm a real estate agent. There's license plates that they have. They just sit in Starbucks and, and there are people that go to them and will ask them. That's how they get business. It's the ideas. Take a look at the statistics. I mean, buyers generally speak to one agent and they go with it, unless they are referred out to by someone else. But that's how it is. What else we have? Servicing buyers is inexpensive. This is most new agents start working with buyers first, and that this is one of the reasons you don't have the income yet to service clients. It's a little difficult when a new agent gets a listing, okay, because they're not too well prepared yet. There's you need signs, marketing material, a bunch of things that cost money. And that's why we said, servicing buyers is inexpensive, because you don't have to spend any money other than the gas and your, time. But you have to make sure you schedule that properly. You gotta make sure you have your schedule with you at all times, and tell exactly people how you are going to work with. Okay, otherwise you don't want to be a slave. That they call you, hey, can I go out and see this property right now? And you say no, they say, that agent doesn't work. Because that's how it's perceived. But from the beginning, the buyer's consultation and all that kind of stuff that we're going to practice, that's when you tell them exactly how they are going to work with you. You're a professional. I mean, and they're not the only clients you're going to have. There's a lot of stuff that you have also. You just have to coordinate schedules so you can, meet certain times to do that work. Okay? Earning with buyers is quick if you do it right. Otherwise, it can cost you money too. And that's why all these classes that you need to know about forms, about disclosures and all that is needed to work with these clients, okay? Let's see. Converting your buyer lead to signed buyer agreement. Shane's not here yet. They're gonna bring the buyer's agreement that we can go over, but working with buyers is fun. Finding buyer legion. Basically, also you have to enjoy this part of the job. That's why you're going to find out if you really want to be a listing agent only or a buyer's agent or someone in different places in real estate. Because you don't like to drive, then you don't want to be a buyer's agent. It's simple as that. There's a lot of driving involved. You have to check properties, preview properties for your client before you show them. Okay, it's not like it's classic example. It's myself, my first buyer. I showed him 120 homes. Okay, why? So I didn't know. When it says want to buy a home, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. When I went into the MLS, 3-bedroom, 2-bathrooms everywhere. Simple as that. So when I was, taking them, they were like, no, it's 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Yeah, it doesn't have a backyard. Oh, backyard. Okay. Next one, and so on. So that was my experience. Patience, and also that buyer. The good thing is they stuck with me because I sold their homes. It was a short sale. And I had to get him something. And since they knew me already, it's like, okay, let's be with the one who knows. And they drove with me 120 homes, but we got them. But anyway, that's why it's fun. You get to learn a lot of people, get to meet a lot of people. And it's not only with buyers, there's a question that sometimes we forgot to ask. You're buying, so you live somewhere right now. Do you rent where you live? Do you own where you live? What are your plans with that property that you are leaving? Okay? And sometimes they'll say, yeah, I need to sell. Okay, so you're going to get a listing. Or my landlord gave me notice. You get a lead right there. You get in touch with the landlord. I understand they're living. I want to help them. Is there anything I can help you with? Are you going to keep renting the property, or are you going to be selling the property? That's another one. So there's opportunities everywhere. Don't let that go. Okay? When you done, that's why it's fun working with buyers, because they can give you, you'll be double dipping sometimes, because that's the way it is. Okay, find buyers. Your job, number one, is lead generation. Lead generation, that's what we do. We lock ourselves 2 to 3 hours every morning, calling and, your database, anything in order to get buyers. So basically, where do you find buyers besides, okay, what type of events you go to?
So I've been doing the high movement, just events in terms of
Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else?
Open houses?
Besides open houses? So open houses, events.
Well, as I said, online, everybody's watching Zillow. So if they're looking at a property and you can get your picture right there on the right side.
Well, you need to pay for that, right?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, Zillow, that's another thing. In our MREA book, there's nowhere there that says that you have to buy leads, all right? One thing you need to understand is that you're not the only one those leads go to. It's like, whoever gets to call first will get that lead that is sold to hundreds or thousands of agents. And I know that because we used to get Boomtown, Zillow, whatever, to provide leads. And whenever we have like Ignite or we have Bold, we get to, one of the exercises is calling people. And you get this lists of FSBOs, which is for sale by owners, withdrawals, expires, and it's like, you're the 5th agent calling me. I'm serious. That's how it is. So you need to change that a little bit to be a little bit more effective, okay? Rather than, buying those leads, I mean, fine. What those people that get those leads, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be calling. How about if you visit them? It's much simpler. And also it's more effective. I mean, everybody's calling. But when you meet face to face with somebody that it's, expires, for instance, expired listings, they're like, they want to sell. Somebody couldn't sell it, that's why it expired. Right? So FSBOs, another one. They want to sell too. But anyway, that's about listings though. But for those, we're talking about finding buyers. Those FSBO signs that you see out there, talk to them, okay? They want to sell. It doesn't have what hours you can knock on their doors. That's 24/7. So you just go and knock on the door. I see you want to sell your property. I work with buyers that are looking into this neighborhood. may I get in and see if, you know, your property fits for my client's criteria. That's when you break the ice there, right there. And then it's like, well, how many people have shown up, you know, to try to buy a home? Well, 1, 2, and probably most of them have been agents, right? Yeah, okay. So let me help you. Let me give you a break next weekend, and I'll put your property on the MLS. I'll hold an open house for you. I'll see if I can help you best selling your property. You're getting buyers, right? So when you get that agreement with that FISBO, giving him a break, him or her, because they have to stay there to open their doors, and they don't want to use an agent because they don't want to pay the commission. The only thing is, like, you know, if I get you a buyer, will you pay my commission? Sure. Instead of 6%, they're going to pay 3%, right? But that's how you can get buyers too, with those FISBOs there. Okay, that's another idea.
How many percentages for sale by owners?
It depends. Depends on the area. Some for sale by owners are former agents, so they know what they're doing basically. But I mean, just drive around. Drive around. I don't know if you are, like, you know, specific to an area. I'm all over the place. I have a Baltimore to Culpeper. I go everywhere. Why? Because my clientele has been moving and spreading all over. So, okay, thank you very much. Yeah, no, that's what we needed.
Are you going up to the videos they have or not really?
Well, that's
They have a video, like 2 videos.
yeah. There's a video that we're not there yet.
Okay, because in order to do that, I gotta do some stuff in the back, like change screens and stuff.
Okay.
I'll be bouncing all over the place.
Well, we can do, since we're here now. We're right next. That's going to be the next one. Find buyers. Let's see, find buyers. Qualify the buyers. Okay, you don't want just a looky-loo that just wants to get into that house because happens to be the neighbor, and you are like curious about that home and what he did and what he doesn't, or whatever, and you practically don't want to buy. Qualifying the buyer is very important, so you don't waste your time or waste their time as well. So we're gonna do that with the buyer's consultation as well, and sign with buyers. That's why we have the agreement here. Let's what is this? Doesn't go forward. That's with the video as far as watch a master find the motivated.
Okay, want to watch the video now?
Yeah, please.
Actually, I was gonna-
It's nothing coming up. All right.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pollack, and I'd like to share tips on how to find the motivated. What do I mean by find the motivated? Turning a warm lead into a closed client. The first tip is when you find someone, you want to ask for the business. Let's say you're at a party and your friend is pregnant. You can always say, hey, it looks like you need a bigger house. Or you're out and about and you see this big, beautiful diamond ring and not the full wedding ring. You can say, hey, it looks like you just got engaged. Congratulations. When are you buying your next house? And then I always ask, when are you ready to buy? When are you looking to move into your new house? What are those underlying tips of motivation that will tip you off to having a client that's ready to do business now versus a year from now? Tip number 2, ask for the appointment. Have a calendar or your smartphone ready to say, I have availability tomorrow at 2 or the next day at 4. Which one would work for you? Book the appointment when you meet someone who's ready to do business. Tip number 3, so now you've got the appointment, you want to pre-qualify that appointment by using scripts. Ask questions such as, have you met with the lender that I referred you to the other day, to make sure that they have their price range in mind when they're meeting with you to buy a home, and that you know they're able to sell a home, or that they're motivated by a desire to have another outcome, like maybe they're relocating or they're downsizing their home. There has to be some motivation level to continue forward with the appointment. Tip number 4, use embedded commands. When you get in front of the people face-to-face at your appointment, you want to be talking embedded command language, such as, when you're comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, then we'll sign the contract tonight. If you're using that language throughout your hour or half an hour appointment, they'll be more comfortable when they get to the end, and they'll sign that contract, and then you can move forward. The last step is you've signed them up, and now it's your goal to get a referral. When you're in conversation with them, on the phone, in the car, at the closing, use questions. Who else do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate that I can call today? If you keep saying this throughout the process, you'll find yourself turning more of your current clients into referral business that will generate lots of easy sales for you. So go out there and find the motivated, and have a great day.
Get anything about in that video that helps? No?
Yeah, like she said, notice the families, like somebody's pregnant or, like diamond rings. So I personally don't do that today, but yes, now I'm going to notice more that, hey, if somebody looks like they might be in the market for buying a new house, I'm definitely going to talk to them and present myself as a real estate agent. So I can get a lead.
Okay. Other people that might help you also are the current buyers you are working with. Because when somebody is buying or selling, they talk a lot. I'm selling my property or I'm buying. And when somebody hears that, someone say, hey, why are we buying now? And it's kind of contagious sometimes. So you might be able to relate with them and get more people in your pipeline. Basically, the first thing is try to get qualified. These buyers, that's why I'm saying, qualifying the buyer, making sure they are buyers, that potential buyers that for this kind of transactions, you buy a property between 7 to 10 years. That's the average. And so it's not something that they do every day, like you. You're helping them, buyers, sellers, whatever, and this is what you do every single day. For these people, it's sometimes once in a lifetime, or sometimes like, one every 7 to 10. Get out of college, they want to buy a condo, right? Get married, maybe a townhouse. Start having kids, a single home. Kids go to college, they reduce to a townhome, or then to a Rambler because they want to go up the steps. They're a little older, So then they just don't want to go up. So every single time there's movement all the time. So that's why finding buyers it's easier because of change. I mean, if we're giving you this information, it's like, they're graduating from college. Where are they going to go? I mean, they graduated from high school. They're going to college. That's one. So you can talk to parents, hey, kids are going to college now. House too big, right? Are you going to move or not? Depends. When they graduate from college or when they get married, there are wedding events. January, I believe, is one. There's another one in October. They're not like at the Patriot Center. You can get a booth there. Real estate booth. Building a pipeline. It's not somebody that's going to buy a house right now. That's just throwing their ideas right there. Now some newlyweds, instead of getting, they do this registry things. They're doing that for down payments for their home. Okay? I just went to a wedding in New York, and in the registry thing, it was like, for our down payment for our new house. You contribute whatever you want. Why not? Those are ideas, so you can work with them. You can get them with lenders to partner with you in those booths, so you can get more buyers there. Okay? But anyway, let's see what else we have. Qualifying buyers, signing with buyers. You got the motivated market research. That's why I wanted to have you in a computer. Yeah. Well, it talks about what's available in my price range, and I don't think those whatever the responses that you have to give these people when they tell you, what's available in my price range. How do they arrive to a price range first?
That's the first question, is how do you arrive at that number?
Exactly.
Have you met with a lender?
Yep. And it's more than that. If you want to go a little deeper, okay, it's about their budget. Because when you say, okay, I'd like to buy a home, have you been pre-qualified with a lender yet? And they say no. Or they say yes. And I can buy a property, they give me a $500,000 approval letter. Okay, so what do? Start looking for properties in the $500,000 range?
No. How much of that are you comfortable spending?
That is the answer. Because some agents will get all the $500,000 properties and start showing them, and then they might get under contract, and then when the financing takes place, they'll find out really how much they need to pay, and they'll back out because that's too much. Okay? One of the things that I advise buyers is to do their budget first, see what they feel comfortable paying a month, and give that figure to the lender. Okay? Tell your lender that you want to buy a home, want to get pre-qualified, but you don't want to pay more than this amount. That's your max. So that's going to work backwards with the lenders. And they're going to tell you, well, yes, they do qualify for $500,000, but for this type of payment and the programs available for them, they only can buy up to $380,000. Okay? So that's the key. Yes, they can qualify for much more, but they're not going, the deal's not going to go through. You're not going to waste their time because you didn't have that information for them. Yeah, they told me I qualified, but that was not the case. That question that you said, how much you want to pay a month, that is key. So they feel comfortable, and then you deliver. Okay? I don't think I can afford to buy a house. Okay? Keep on going. What makes you say that? Okay? I do feel comfortable paying that amount in rent. Yes, no, I'm struggling with that, so I need to lower that.
I can get you a house which is going to be less than your rental payments.
Don't. I can't get you a house that's gonna. Yeah, but down in Stafford, that's not. It's like come and I'll sell you a property for what you said those radio advertisements. I'll sell you a property in 2 days, whatever, at the price I want, not the price you want. But a little careful with that. But it's. What do you know about the current programs available for buyers now? Okay, so that's one of the things. Lenders they're your friends. Find out which lenders are like great lenders. You don't want lenders that see clients with the dollar sign. The only thing they want to sell them is FHA loans. Why? Because they get more money out of that. That's the only reason. They're available on lots of programs. Get, Tim Kelly from Highland Mortgage? He's from Ed and Rich's team. He has a class, I think it's the third Saturday or second Saturday of the month. Come to one of those classes. You'll see, how he delivers the financing portion of the real estate as far as the programs that are available. There are programs that, yes, you can buy a property with 0% down. Zero. Okay? USDA. But not all properties qualify for that. That's why you need an expert like that gentleman that is standing out there. Exactly based on what they can qualify. Income makes a difference. Type of home, credit scores, all those kind of things that we don't know will make a difference. When they tell you they're qualified to buy a property, say, can I get a number of your lender that gave you that letter? Or I got it from the internet. It's easy. I said I make $100,000 a year. I think I have a good credit score. So boom, they'll spit out a letter that you're qualified. And you want to buy with that.
Qualified doesn't mean approved.
Nothing, exactly, and that's the difference. Okay? So that answer is, I don't think I can afford to buy a house until you sit down with our lender. You don't know that. I don't want you to, I'm not asking you to buy a home tomorrow. You might be able to qualify 3 months down the road. It depends. Sometimes, people will come in, sit down with our lenders and say, well, not right now, but if we do this, this, and this, you might be able to buy a property in 3 months, 6 months. With Ed, we had a client that he put into a credit restoration, basically. 3 months a year, fine. Remember, we are building a pipeline. We want to have buyers and sellers every month. You don't want to be a one transaction this month, nothing the next 3 months, because I just work with one client at a time. You know how long it takes a buyer or a listing to sell, right? It's pretty much an average of 3 months. So whatever you have right now is product of what you did 3 months ago. That's how it is. So you need to build this pipeline and put them in there. When they say, no, I'm not, I think probably by next summer, fine. Perfect time to right now start building that path to ownership, because there's a bunch of things that we need to do in between. So you can be ready by then. You'll see they're going to end up buying sooner than what they said, okay? Based on circumstances, based on programs, based on the market is hot right now. You can't, leave an opportunity. So that's what you need to do. And that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about waiting until next year, fine. But it's great to get prepared. Let me have you sit down with one of our lenders so they can tell you exactly where you are now and what you need to do in order to be ready. The next question, can you help me find investment properties? Well, the question is, what's investment properties for you? Right? Because what's an investment property? It's another property that you don't live there. You have to rent it out. You're not be living in two properties at the same time. So that purchase, that's why you need also the financial advice from the lender, because if you buy an investment property, it's going to cost you more money, right? larger down payment, higher interest. How about if you move up where you live, you buy a new property, and then the property you live, you just keep it as an investment. It's going to be much easier and it's a much better financial move. Because if you buy an investment property, it's going to cost you more money because it's an investment. Okay? So it's like, I live, nice and comfortable here. I just want to have some money instead of having it at the bank right there. Fine, but you should be looking into something different. But there's a strategist. That's why we work together and try to get the best for our clients and make it a win-win. Yes.
I want to know how would you respond if the client asks, I want you to find me a property, say that a lot of them are foreclosed, that's much discounted, and I can potentially live in and then invest later. Is that the same response you get?
Well, that's going to be a primary residence. And then they're going to flip it or sell it, right? So, yeah, you can do that. But the thing is, where do I find those type of properties? Right now, there's a lot. I mean, people, it's when they tell you, oh, you have to buy this, whatever in the market, because it's hot right now. They're selling for whatever. By the time you try to do it, it's already going down. The foreclosure era is gone pretty much. The only state right now that has the highest foreclosure is Maryland. And that's because of the laws. They have the foreclosure laws. You know that in Maryland is pretty much in this area, the only place that you can get foreclosed and get your property back if you have the means. That's why there's a redemption period there. Not in Virginia, not in West Virginia or DC. Okay, so that's why it takes a little longer for those properties to go back in the market once foreclosed. Redemption? Well, remember the foreclosure era was a few years ago, where you find foreclosures everywhere. Now it's only pretty much Maryland. Okay, and because of that redemption period, most of those properties have been pretty much deteriorated, and it's they are more for investors and renovation loans or 203K loans that you can get. But that's why you need to get familiar with those type of loans for your clients. Some clients, they don't mind waiting to get into the property, and they cannot find other than one property that's already messed up in the neighborhood. Fine, get a renovation loan, okay? That will give you money to buy the property, fix the property, and live there. So those loans, yes, they do exist, but you got to get familiar with them. I can afford about $1,500 per month for my living expenses, and I like to live in neighborhood of high-priced homes. I mean, you can't bring the moon to the clients. Sorry. Got to be realistic. Okay? This is what we have. Want to live in Arlington and pay $1,200 in mortgage? Not even a one-bedroom condo or an efficiency. No, that's not going to happen. And even if you find one that is $1,200, you're going to have a condo fee of $900 or $500. Okay? That will make it much more expensive. So that's another one. Got to be careful with condos, because the condo fee is very important. And also, sometimes, depending on the type of loan, that particular property will not be FHA or VA approved. So if you get into a contract and then find out later that it's not approved, what a waste of time, right? So there's a lot of things that we need to find out too. Okay, and when you can't answer the question or objections, what should you say? Yeah, So that's a great question that has a lot of answers, but let me get the correct one, get back to you. I'll get it for you. Okay? It's simple. There's you can say, I mean, we have in my office, we have someone that is an expert in that field, and we'll get the result or the question you're asking. Let's say, let's define each term. Know your terms on page 15.
Right over that, there you go.
Okay, well, list price to sell price.
How much the house is listed for versus how much it is for.
Yep, the final sales price, right? I mean, it can be listed for 500,000. Go for the contract, and you see that it's still at 500,000. But until it gets sold, you will not have the amount that that property has sold for. And then it's you gotta divide that to get a percentage. When you get the list price versus the sales price, divide it and see if it's like 98% of the list price. That's how they sold for, or 105% of the list price. That means it sold for more, right? So those are you can get printouts from the MRAS and show your clients so you can present a good offer. And so I don't know if do you have access to MLS? Access to the MLS?
I do.
Okay, because to see, I mean, there's you can see this numbers. The detail, yeah, and that's gonna give you. So try to play with that and see when you pick up that's gonna give you when you choose sold properties within the last 90 days, you're gonna have that average down there. What was the list price and what was the net? Okay, because also remember you can list for 500,000, sold for 480. But the net, it's 460 because they gave $20,000 in concession. Okay, so that's important too. You're gonna see that information so you can make an intelligent offer without offending the listing agent or the seller. Okay, but it doesn't matter because that's one thing is the listing, one thing is what's going to be sold for. It's just the agreement what is going to be the sold price. Days on the market, what's that?
How many days were from the time it was listed to the time it was under contract or sold?
Got it. There's another one there that is DOMM, 2 M's instead of 1. That's when the time it was placed on the MLS until it got sold. Okay? But there's one that is from the time it was listed until it got under contract. The first one, the days on the market. And you'll see because you guys list November 1st and it says only 10 days and we're in January and it hasn't sold yet. What's going on? Why does it says 10? That's when he got a contract right there. But DOMM is the whole, the time it's been on the market. What's average days on the market? Or dividing the days on the market of each listing by the number of listings. So you can get that. Buyer, what's BINS? Buyer Instant Notification System. BINS, Buyer Instant Notification System. Pretty much, allow them to store search preferences and receive the new listed homes from the search tool on your website. What is IDX? Internet Data Exchange. Provides consumers with access to your local MLS right from your website. Okay. Okay. And that was in your homework. Says to share the market statistics they prepare in their mission. That was one of the homework from yesterday. So we can gather on the list price to sales price ratios and things like that. So, but basically what that information that you provided, that when you do a CMA, that's when you can get all that. How important is that information for your buyers or your sellers? Why you present that to them? Why?
Why? So he can get an idea about the market, set his expectations.
Okay. One thing is a seller wants to sell for an outrageous amount of money sometimes. Why? Because they invested in that property. They put hardwood floors, granite counters, 42-inch cabinets, crown molding, golden bathtub, whatever. That's how they like to live. Okay, that's their style. Has nothing to do with what exactly the values in that particular area are, right? I mean, it's like what makes a difference there, it's if you have added square footage to the property, makes a difference. But if you just change the cosmetics, no. Now, if there are two properties in the same block, that's going to be the first one to sell because how it looks and, all the updates. But it doesn't mean there's going to be a much higher price because, that's one of the things sometimes sellers need to understand, and they don't until it's time your property is not selling. Why? You need to drop, and that's how it is. That's why you do a CMA to show them what's in the market in competition, what has sold recently for how much and why. Okay? Take them to visit those properties so they can understand that, right? So they can be realistic and the same thing with negotiations with your buyers. You want to know why that property is listed at 520 and the other one is 480 in the same block. What's the difference between them? Some listings that you're going to see the days on the market over 90, 120 days. They've been sitting there for a while, and it's not because they've done much better than the other ones. It's because they cannot afford to sell it for less. They owe so much money that if they drop the price, it becomes a short sale. And that's one of the things you can understand in conversations with the listing agent. I mean, your property is way off. You're not going to sell it. So we understand that. But if we accept your offer, it's going to be a short sale. Is your client willing to ride good 60, 90 days in order to get this property? Might be a short sale situation. So get in contact with that listing agent and find out, the reason. Because there's no other properties on the market. That's what you can do for your clients. Number of homes on the market, different price ranges, price trends. That's where you can see there too. Where they're heading the last 90 days. Pull different information the last 120 days, the last 90 days, the last 30 days to see what the trend is. So you can see if the market is going up or down. Okay. Want to have information on your geographic farm. Want to have information of the school district. Sometimes just the street borders the school districts. In Reston and McLean, divided by Route 7, right? One house across the street. They don't go to the same school. Price range is also different, but that's because you are in the area, but not from someone that is coming from out of state. Let's see, I want to go to a certain school, and I see a property right there, but they don't know the limits. So you need to be aware of that too. Many new to the business are unfamiliar with those terms, and the MLS has now this maps that you can plug them in and see the school district where that property belongs to. Any ideas of key information for school districts and local resources?
There's a website you can go to that has it.
Great schools.
You can go to the county website and see what school has, you can put your address in and see what school.
Yeah.
That give you an indication of the quality of the school.
Okay.
Because usually that's what people are after is
Yeah, most people with families, yes, starting families too. Some people that don't care about the schools because they have no kids. They just want to know about the crime rate.
crimereport.com.
Okay, that's one. An easy one also to see.
crimereport.com.
Have you seen Trulia.com? What happens every day, crime-wise, and also the color. If it's green, it's not okay, but it's kind of like an orange. There's like a crime every minute or so.
But not all jurisdictions participate. Like Fairfax County participates with crimereport.com. Prince William County doesn't.
That's not right. So you need to see that's a word.
That's a sign.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else do you want to know about areas in the areas you're going to be farming?
You're buying housing.
Well, I mean, if you are going to farm in particular areas, just get, title company in the area.
What amenities are there?
Amenities, your local chamber of commerce is good too, to get more information, what's going on. Obviously, the county gives information, what's coming up. And sometimes people are going to, is this a good investment? What's going to happen here in 5-10 years? Like what's happening with the 66, and they get rid of some properties there with eminent domain sometimes. All those kind of things is good to know. Why properties are going up in value in the Sterling, Leesburg, in those areas, sometimes because of the metro. But which properties are going up in value in those areas? The condos and townhomes, not the single homes. Okay? Single homes basically, it's the opposite, because they want to be more outside the public areas, like on a lot of metros, and that's why you want a home to be a little further than everybody else. So careful with that too. Let's see. What else we have here? Market stats. Got that. Qualify scheduled buyers for the consultation. After you build out a report with them, this is your buyer needs analysis. that you want to use so you don't take them to 120 homes like I did. Okay, this is in KW Connect. It's also in your Ignite. That's probably one of the tools, the things that you should bring here. And you want to use that when you meet with people. Okay. And you want to like pair up and practice this. And if you have questions, I'm here for you. First thing you're going to tell them is like, I'm going to take notes of this conversation. Because, you know, sometimes I forget things. Like I need to have things in writing. It's going to make it easier if you don't mind. Okay? You got to tell them that, and that's it. And that's how you start. The first page, if you take a look at it, it's the information you need to know, because after you have shown a couple of properties, then they say, oh, we need to bring my dad. He's buying this property with me. So before that happens, that's why, you know, basic information. Who are going to be the purchasers? And take a look at this. I mean, names, phone, email. Who's the primary contact? And what's the best time and way to reach that individual? That's so you can synchronize schedules and you tell them when to meet, not the other way around, because it needs to fit your schedule. You're going to be busy, right? Yes, you will be respectful of their schedule as well, but that's why it needs to be in black and white here. What is prompting you to move? Why is that question important? Because sometimes it happens that it's a divorce case. Congratulations, buying a home or selling a home. Okay? So before you do that, that's why that question. So, well, we're getting divorced. We're parting ways. And so you're going to be a little more careful with that. That might sound like another purchaser for you too, if you want to help out everybody. When do you need to be in your new home? That's the key also. So you know how to plan out. You're going to be working backwards from settlement day, that's the time they need to be in their new home, backwards. So when it's like, you know, sometimes when you buy a home, yeah, but later, not now, okay? And that's it. But when you say, yeah, later, when is later? March. It's like, whoa, March. I mean, are you paying cash? No. Why? Because, yeah, I can understand if you're buying cash, you can buy and move, you know, probably finances are going to take 30 days. You have the money. But if it's going to be finance, you're talking about 30 to 45 days maybe. Depends on the program. So that means you need to be, by this date, you need to be under contract on this date. You get to get all the financing and local properties and everything here, so we can start today. So take a look at this question. I mean, it's a powerful tool. Follow it. That's why it's there for us. Are you pre-approved for a mortgage? Yes. Can you share that letter with me? Because if we're going to put an offer, I need to be familiar with it. I can call this lender of yours so I can give them the property when it's time to put an offer. That's where you're going to find out a lot of things, okay? There are, like you were saying, pre-qual and pre-approve are totally different things. Pre-qual is like you gave them a number and whatever, they trust you, what you said, approve a letter. Pre-approve is when you have already given all the paperwork to the mortgage lender. Taxes, pay stubs, you name it. They have a whole list. Ask Ed, Rich, or Tim. They can provide you with a list of things. But better yet, just hand it to them. We don't want to get involved in that. Okay, that's not our thing. It's them. What's the price range? And if they tell you, it's like, how do you arrive to that price? How about if we talk to the lender first and then we talk about the price range we were looking for? Okay. Next page. Who will be living in the home you purchase? There are certain questions you cannot ask, and sometimes people get offended by. Do you have kids? How about if somebody that cannot have kids? You just hurt them right there. Okay? So that's why these questions are very important to follow. Who will be living in the home you purchase? Will anyone else be spending more than an occasional overnight? Parents, friends, you like to, have friends that party a lot, they don't want to let them drive so they can stay. Why is that important? To have an extra bedroom or, certain accommodations for the property you're going to be looking for. Describe your lifestyle. What do you enjoy doing at home? These are not stupid questions. These are very informative questions because that's going to set you apart from the rest, because you are going to deliver a home that they are looking for. Go ahead.
I use these exact same questions on all my buyers' presentations, and I've realized that some of them are like kind of, it sounds stupid when I'm asking them, but at the end of the day, or when you're selecting a property, that you know it so well, that, like, this is wow, Tim. You actually listen to what I tell you, and this is the exact outcome. So it's like, it's like, these are lifesavers for me, because if they were to pick up a property that they didn't like, I would be like, hey, you mentioned to me that you wanted, you didn't like the garage, it wasn't, you guys wanted, it was just, it's important. So, yes, a lot of these questions.
Okay. You see, all these things that you're looking for. And if you just go over this and just read it right now and see if there's anything that you want to ask me right now. But this is a tool I use with all my buyers.
Sometimes you should not ask certain questions like.
That this is why.
Right. So this doesn't have any of those questions.
No. Well, you can eliminate certain questions because you already know what they've answered, right?
If they're friends of yours that you know pretty well, you still have to, should you?
Then you can probably pre-filter.
I would say yes.
You know how many
it's better. Well, there are not going to be that many questions, but I'm sure there's going to be some of them,
They still might have the.
right? It's like if you're helping your brother buying a home or sister, this is not going to happen. Okay? This is basically, but this is a tool that you should practice, and then it's already in here when it's time to sit down with a client. You still have this, so you can take the notes. Okay? And sometimes if you don't have these notes, you already know by heart. Sometimes the questions you need to ask. You just write on a piece of paper. But see if there's anything that you have a question.
You left out the, list of 5 things that,
That is in your guide to buying a home. Okay? It's here too. This is one of the things you can provide your buyers. You can send this out to them. But the buyer's consultation is before you are going to search for properties for them. Okay? Lots of stuff in there.
how often do you send out these buyer's guides?
I personalize them for them. I take some of the stuff out. I'll tell you which one I do that. On the guide to buying a home, It's all about you because it is about the client needs, dreams, concerns, questions. Sometimes it's gonna sound like hey, whatever what you get from me. You don't want to sit down with them and this information you can send them in. I send this to their email so they can read it before our meeting. Steps buying a home. It's KW Connect. And also it's on the EH in all the forms there. The marketing material is steps buying a phone, funding your home purchase. So this is basic information, guide to buying your home, right? Even as there's like closing and everything. So just a guide, this is pretty generic. Okay. You can edit this things. You can put their names and things like that. What I do is I eliminate on page 4 where it says steps to home buying. When it says choose a realtor, okay, I eliminate that one because I'm the realtor. But now that you have chosen me, when I am your realtor that will be helping you, and then just let the other stuff there, obtain the pre-approval. You don't want to give them more options, right? Because then it's going to be time to sign the exclusive buyer representation. You have the to qualify, they're going to be price, motivation, location, wants, needs, timeline, finances, availability, all that. It's going to be in that thing that I gave you. Okay. Get the appointment. Two out of 3 of all buyers interview only one agent. What do they need more for? I mean, they don't know any better. But if they will go with you, if you seem prepared, if you have the proper questions. I've been interviewed by buyers, and when I use these tools, they always tell me, you are the only one that have asked me these questions. The other one was like, are you qualified? Let's go and see properties. When can we see them?
So you take this with you, you actually go through it, like.
Oh, the
I mean, and like, right, I mean, you're not memorizing it all.
The buyer needs analysis, yes.
Yeah, I know.
Needs analysis, yes. This one is it's just marketing about you and the office, right? But this one, yes.
Okay.
This is how you are able to win them. And this is how you're able to find out exactly what is the property they're looking for so you can deliver rather than sending just whatever. I had a client that was very specific. So he was military, single, but he wanted a colonial house, 3-bedroom. Basement is good for storage, but the main thing was he wanted a large bathtub because he liked to take baths 2 to 3 times a week, and a open kitchen with a family room large enough to put his TV and the speakers, because while he cooks, he wanted to watch, football, whatever. That was it. So when I started looking for these properties, and I see a kitchen that is not an open kitchen, why am I going to go and show them? or show them a house that doesn't have a bathtub. It does have a shower. Okay? So that's when they don't take you seriously. I mean, they already, once you've done this, you know the specifics. And if you show them something that, they already answer, the guy like, come on. When you go a little bit and have showing agents, because that's a good thing to have, you can select the properties after doing this buyer's analysis, and your showing agent is going to go and show them. That's it. You're not going to waste the time. Time's important for us. You can work on another buyer, or you can pay, the showing agent if they decide to write in one of those properties, right? So that's leverage. Okay, so that's one of the things you can do. Guide to buying a home, right there. Can give that information ahead of time. Page 48. We have in your scripts practice there.
Jorge, do we have a break schedule?
You need a break right now? Sure. Let's have a break. Let's have 10 minutes so we can get water and whatever. Or any questions?
I saw it. Maybe they're all gonna look in the bathroom and see. Maybe see if I can. The women's at least.
Thank you for that. I'll just keep on going,
Mine will only
Another real estate firm, pretty big one. I just realized that the buyer's presentation was like directed towards just about the company. Oh yeah, this is what we do, how much we sell. That wasn't good. And just recently, that's what they teach to their account, their beginner's intro class. I don't know how that would work if I kept telling them about how great my company is and not even bother.
Well, you know how it works. That's why you're here, right? Basically, when it's working with listings or buyers, when you talk about you and you, me and my company, and we sell and we have and we all that, it's like, who cares, right? That's why you have all that information. Just give it to them so they can read on their own time. This is about my company and myself. Read. If you have any questions, please ask. But then when it's time to sit down, it's about you. Tell me. Boom, boom, boom. You start covering all that. That's when they start to trusting you, because it's all about them. The plans, everything. I mean, that buyer needs analysis. God, wish I could have had with that first my buy. I'm telling you, it's serious, and it's true. 120 homes like that.
You're probably a professional in that specific location now.
I was everywhere because, what he gave him was, I didn't ask him any questions, only that, he wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's it. So when you plug that in, you're like, where do I start? Plenty. Not when you have this. And like I said, with that client that I have, very specific, right? So I know when I preview their homes, I go to the bathroom, bathtub, checked. Basement, finished, unfinished, checked. Kitchen, open area, family room, big enough for, big TV, checked, selected. So I got 5 properties within the price range. I said, I have selected the properties you want. So you're going to choose one today, and one backup just in case. Sure enough, it was like, oh, awesome. Let's offer him this one. You know, I gave him what he wanted. That's how you want him. With simple tool, use it. I'm telling you. I mean, you guys are new in this. I wish I would have had that advice in the past, but it's very useful. I still use it. Unless I know those people because I already sold them a home or something, right? Because, I have clients already that are like that, been in the business for 10 years. Then it's like, hey, yeah, now, but, the kids are gone. So now we need to downsize. But I pretty much know what they like, people that, oh, I don't know, I want my man cave. It's like, okay, what do you want in your man cave, a bar, a pool table, so space for that. Has to have a full bathroom, just in case, friends stay over, things like that. Or it's about their pets. You have bedrooms for, okay, want to have a bedroom for my cats. I want to have a bedroom for my dogs. I have a client buying a property in Maryland right now. And we found a county that allow her to have, she has pigs as pets. So we found in the county that allows her to have pigs. You got, backyard, decent room on the main floor, because here's gonna like a door that will go back and forth. But if you don't ask that, you will not know. That's a lot of information, right? Every single time. There's a class, but it's pretty much the same thing is about practicing. We want you to practice scripts so you can learn them by heart and then internalize them and making your own, so you don't have to be reading. How many times someone has called you that you sense that they're reading, right? I just throw them a question and you see what happens.
I used to do telemarketing. I've done telemarketing for years. So when I get a phone call like that, I can tell within like 5 seconds that they're reading.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound natural.
Exactly.
Sure.
And it's the same thing. When we have these practices, okay? We have these practices. I say, okay, call with the script right next to you. It's not natural. They're going to hang up on you. Simple. So,
it's good for establishing
yeah.
The script is good for establishing kind of the points you want to make.
Exactly.
But it's got to be your voice.
Internalize those, and that's why I practice in class, not with your clients. And it's like, then you make it your own. And as soon as you feel comfortable with it, it's very easy to deliver that. Okay, let's wait. There's a couple of people in the bathroom still.
So Donna, are you building?
It won't let me save my work experience. It's driving me crazy.
No, but are you doing a business page or
No,
are
it's
you
my
doing a
regular
personal?
page. Yeah, but I mean, I have it in here and I want it to show to the public, and when I close out of it, it's not saving. It's going back to.
Try logging out and then logging back in.
Oh, man.
But yeah, copy paste whatever text you wrote so you don't have to write it again.
See, it's not showing anything, nothing. It shouldn't do this. Oh my God. Nope. So So you go to edit profile, then you click on the ones that you want to be show public. You should be able to save it somewhere, but it's not letting you save it.
There's no save button anywhere.
There's a save button.
Okay, we'll do it at the bottom.
Bio, but there's not one on the bottom.
Try to do something else and see if that gets saved, or is it just the word?
This is so annoying. See, here it all is, but I want it to be public. And it says public, but it's not saving it as public.
You may want to go into your settings. I think in your settings, that's where you get the option to
Needs analysis. The system
keep it private. I think there's one that's like safety and security or privacy.
Okay, this is my card. Use the email in the back because the front does not work. It has the MRAS that they did away with that domain.
I want to do all that. And then it's not letting me the save button anymore. So annoying.
Well, there's something you're missing because the save is not
Thank you.
highlighted.
I know. And
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get the MRIS email?
Because I'm a 10-year-old agent. They used to be. They did away back in October it was last year. They did away with the domain, mras.com. They killed all the emails that I have for almost 10 years.
You had 500 cards with.
I know, that's why I'm using them up. I still use it, Okay, let's watch this video. This is the buyer's analysis.
The process of collecting information about needs, wants, and desires that is used to establish and define goals. Step 2 of the buyer consultation is the needs analysis. Only when you understand what is ultimately important to your customers can you deliver it. Many agents ask their clients, "What do you want in a house?" and stop there. They don't realize the answer to that question isn't the same as "What do you need?" or "What's important to you?" Determining your customer's core wants, needs, and values is a process. Draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper and write needs on the left and wants on the right, and use it to track their needs and wants as you go through this process. At this point, you will have a clear understanding of what buyers need versus what they want, but you are not done. Now, you want to drill down and uncover their values by finding out why they need and want what they do. Use this question: what about blank is important to you? Let's see how it works. Say your buyer has told you that they want or need a large yard. You say,
So what's about a large yard that's important to you?
your buyer says, "I like to garden." You ask,
You like gardening, and what's important about gardening?
your buyer says, "I like to spend time outdoors. It helps me relax." You ask,
Make you feel relaxed, and what's important about being relaxed?
your buyer says, "When I'm relaxed, I can spend more quality time with my wife." Bullseye. A large yard equals family. At this point, you have uncovered a value. You can now look for other ways it applies to your buyer.
A large yard is important because it allows you to spend quality time with your wife, correct? So what else about your new home would be important to you in terms of spending more time with your wife? Okay, remember one thing, okay? It all depends who you're talking to and the type of client you have in front of you. There are ways to read. You need to pretty much mimic the client you have in front. If they talk too slow, they talk too fast, they're like, they are very precise in their things. You need to understand all that when you're asking the questions and how deep you can go. Come on, you're going to be asking those questions? Not in this market. We're like more, right? I mean, he lives in, I think it's in Texas. He's Diana Kokoska's husband. It's one of the Keller Williams founders there. But anyway, so as far as the buyer needs analysis, it's trying to find the perfect home. Look at what it says there. Basically, you have the 3 questions deep. Where are you moving? How soon? Why is moving part of the town important to you? What will that do for you? I mean, depends on the answer. How satisfied, how can you can grab that quickly, right? Why are you moving? Say want to or what? It's but take a look at the questions you have in the buyer's consultation. That will give you much better. You don't have to go that deep because sometimes it's annoying, but also depends who you are if you are going to ask those questions. I mean, what are you looking for in a new home? Why is a large yard important to you? What will that do for you? I mean, come on. They say they want a backyard. Boom. They want a backyard. I mean, why do you want a backyard? It's like someone to bury you in there, you know? But anyway, I mean, some people will react like that and will say, you know, get out of here. But it also depends. There are people that like to talk a lot, right? So just go along with it. There are people that may feel annoyed if you keep asking more questions if they have already given you the answer. They don't want to get more deep into that. So it all depends. That's why I'm saying do not take the scripts as that's the way it is. Make it your own. It's your personality. Okay? You can conclude this the analysis asking, you know, what are the top 5 things your must have? I mean, that will give you also the importance, because if they have given you numerous things, you know, one like bay windows, ceramic tile in the bathroom, hardwood floors in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and things like that. Sometimes those can be changed later on, but if you ask them with the 5 must-haves, you'll have a better idea. Because you're not going to find the perfect home unless you're helping them buy new construction. Then you can choose, right? Okay. There's also beyond those 5 things, what is something else you really must have? If you can have something else, I mean, you know, want to keep on going. If you can have one last thing, it's enough. Sometimes enough's enough. Anyway, so you can practice what I gave you. Try to do it all as often as possible so you can internalize those things. And once you've done that, I mean, you already know the homes they want. They have gotten pre-qualified. So now let's make it official, and let's sign the representation agreement. I'll be working with you. And this is a generic form that we use. It's made by our real estate attorneys, so we cannot cross anything out. If we need to change anything, especially if dealing with the attorneys buying a property, we can have an addendum to the representation agreement. Okay? That's how you cannot cross anything out here. If you do that, you void the agreement, the representation. This is a legal document. If you must change something, use an addendum, okay? Let's start with...
I know that's probably on here, I'm just curious. Does it have an expiration date?
Yes, it does. It does, number 4.
Oh, turn it, okay.
Okay, one thing that I will recommend is, may I have your, well, everybody that's going to be involved in the transaction must be present to sign this. May I have your driver's license? Okay, why? Because you have like Pete Kelly, and his name is Peter. But if you just put Pete, then you're going to have problems later on because you have to change documents and things like that. So you want to ask for the driver's license, okay? You have right there, disclosure are made on the date between the buyers and Keller Williams Realty, not you, Keller Williams Realty. Then you have where do they want to be sent information as far as notices and things like that. The buyer, mailing address, cell phone, emails, work number. Then all of our information that should be populated if you use EH and dot loop. It populates for you if you know how to do that. Term and the termination, that's the expiration date in number 4. The agreement commences when it's signed, subject to the compensation paragraph, and expires at 11:59 p.m. on when? Well, when do you need to be in your new home? August 1st, okay. For some odd reason, we might delay maybe settlement. Let's put September 30th. That be okay with you? Boom. Okay. I mean, one thing you need to understand also when people ask you that, this is an agreement. It's not a contract. You can break this agreement. You're going to see there's a paragraph there. Just give me 1 day notice. Done. You don't like me or for whatever reason you don't feel comfortable. One thing you need to know, you are not signing this with me. You're signing with Keller Williams. So if there's an issue with me, call my broker and have them, have it assigned to another agent that might suit your needs. Maybe you don't want to work with me because I don't work weekends and you can only view properties on weekends. I mean, what am I good for you here? No. And we don't want to lose you as a client for Keller Williams. So we'll have somebody else. And if that happens, refer that client to that agent so you at least get something. Okay, so it's not a waste. Because you couldn't, it's happened. I've taken over a few clients in the market center because of that. They called the broker because they couldn't get along. Boom, and I gave referral fee to the agent that had him before. But we had a happy client. We didn't leave him, at their own. We don't want to lose him. We want him to go somewhere else. Buyers shall compensate the broker. That's an early termination fee. Myself particularly, I put that 0. I don't charge clients if I don't deliver. If they want to break the agreement with me, if they want to fire me, that means I did a bad job. Why am I going to charge it? That's me. Okay? Other people might feel different. I've seen people that charge. Why? Because of their time, their gas, whatever. So they put like $300. Now, if you are going to charge an amount, you do it with everybody. Okay? You don't be subject to an audit and find that you've charged to this gentleman, not to that lady, yes to this other one. No. That's like discrimination type of thing. You don't want to be involved in that kind of situation. If you charge to everybody. If you don't charge. 5, broker duties. That's self-explanatory. 7, this purpose, buyers retaining broker to acquire the following type of property. Why? I'm helping buy my home. It should be like self-explanatory. Sometimes because you picked up a buyer in an open house, okay, and you tell them I'm finishing my open house at 4 o'clock, and I have other listings that I can show you in the area that they don't have open house, but I have access. And if you don't want, I'll be your agent today for that particular transaction, then you can write it down right there. So they don't feel obligated to be with you. But you'll see, they'll end up with you if you want to work with them and be that type of agent that gives always more information and comes from, contribution. And that's one of the tools that you're going to have in your open houses is properties in the area that are similar to the ones in the open house that you have access because you have a key, right? The central lock. So do that, and you'll see they're going to pick up more clients because you have access. They don't. They're just going from open house to open house. So that's a purpose. Sometimes when I put this, a residential property in Northern Virginia, just to make it easier, that's pretty generic, and that's what I do all the time. Compensation, number 8. Retainer. That's another one. Check that with Sheila and check with other agents as well. Myself, I have 0 retainer fees. I don't charge anything. Okay. Payment. Buyer shall pay compensation in the amount of. Who pays brokers, realtors fees? Sellers, right? Why we have this buyer shall pay? Like FSBOs. Like, a neighbor that doesn't have the property advertised, okay? But they happen to know that someone is selling a home and they want your advice and help. That's when this applies, okay? You need to get paid. If you don't have the amount here and you explain that to the buyer, this only applies if the seller doesn't want to pay services. Okay? This is what applies. So sometimes you're going to find a for sale by owner property on your way, visiting the neighborhood, and that I don't know. You don't want to get in there. Please give me that information. I'll go myself and preview that home for you, and I'll tell that seller that he needs to pay my services, so you don't need to pay me. If you do it yourself, you might end up paying my services, right? So that's the reason of why this paragraph is here. And if it says 0 and that seller doesn't want to pay any realtor's fee, you don't get paid. So careful with that paragraph and the explanation to the buyer why they should always talk to you rather than going behind your back. Payment, number 1. It says if within X number of days of expiration, the buyer's early termination, buyers enter into a contract, acquire any real property type discussed. Well, to make it simple, they say they want to buy this property, and all of a sudden they fire you. They say, we don't want to work with you anymore. I'm sorry. We decide not to buy. Okay? So then it's like next week, you see that they are going to closing with that property. So what happened was that some sellers or agents, because they want to double dip, we'll eliminate, we'll give you a break, we'll give you a discount, fire your agent and come and work with us, and we'll, make it easier. That is the reason for that line there, okay? Shouldn't happen, but that's why you have the number of days there. So You can pay like maybe what, 10, 15, 30 days, or not available. You have any question about that one?
How many days do you put?
I put 5 days. Just 5. Relocation program. That's when there's a relocation program that the buyers participate in. Type of real estate. Seller representation, buyer designated. Do you know about all this? Done when you're taking your exams and all that. Any questions about that? As far as the buyer does not consent to designated representation or consents to designated representation, that's the one I choose. Okay? So there's no dual agent. I don't do dual agent. Dual agency, yes, because it can be a buyer represented by Keller Williams Falls Church, and the listing also is with a Keller Williams Falls Church agent. So that's different. That agency, okay? Compliance with fair housing law. Attorney's fees. The only thing about the attorney fees that they need to know is the party that loses any legal battle pays fees. So now we have attorneys in this office here, Universal Title, that can give us advice. Before going into legal battle, let's have a chat. Is it worth it? Are we going to win if we go to court? Yes, no. No, then just drop it. Yes, sure, let's go to fight. Disclaimers, professional survey, Megan's Law. See that website there? They can, sex offenders registered. They can see, especially single people, families with small children, and things like that want to know who their neighbors are. So they can go to this website, put the address of the property, and they'll be listed there, that the next door neighbor is one of them or not. Wire frauds. You gotta be careful as far as wire frauds. Sometimes I will receive emails from companies asking them for earnest money deposit, down payment, and things like that. Careful. If it's not coming from, ask me if that's a true request, or let's talk to our lender or title company, because they are the only ones that can request. Now there's a lot of fraud right there. If I'm helping you buy a home, all of a sudden you get an email because, whatever, you've been searching properties for sale, buy whatever. They check you out and say you are under contract, basically, and they're like, hey, you need to send or wire the earnest money deposit. Boom. That's why there. Service provider referrals, broker to broker. We have referral forms you can request. Miscellaneous. So this is the agreement and any exhibits and addenda, some of the parties. This agreement can only be modified in writing when signed by both parties. Laws of Virginia shall govern the validity, interpretation, and forms of this agreement. And you see other provisions that we can write things to. Okay? Buyer should consult with buyer agent before visiting any resale or new homes or contacting any real estate agents representing sellers to avoid any possibility of confusion. Typical of some buyers looking into new construction. And then they call you, hey, sorry, but we decided to buy new construction. We don't need your services anymore. It's like, oh my God, you've been working with them. So from day one, you need to educate them. There's going to be new construction out there, but you might want to look at it careful, okay? Because they have to pay our services, the builders. And one of the things that the salespeople do is like, hey, you don't need a real estate agent. You don't need any. We have everything in the house. We have a lender that will qualify you, title company, everything. So come with us, fire your agent. You'll be good to go.
They're also not representing the buyer.
No, they represent the builder, and everything is in favor of the builder. Even if you are representing the buyer, you have to use the builder's contract. But you can have some addendums too, okay? For instance, you can do a pre-drywall inspection, and then the regular inspection after that before settlement. In pre-drywall inspection, we found lots of things, but you have to have a home inspector that knows about that kind of service, okay? So remember that when you're dealing with new construction, they build in series. I mean, this whole block, it's all the new townhomes. They're going to start like, their crews go like boom, 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 boom. They're going to miss stuff. And a well-represented buyer of new construction will have an agent that will ask for pre-drywall inspection. And you tell them, we're going to use our own inspector to do pre-drywall inspection and the home inspection. They cannot say no. Then your client also can choose his own lender. But then what's the caveat there? The builder will tell you, well, we were offering $15,000 closing cost help if you use our lender, our title company. Since you decided to choose your own, there's no $15,000. Okay, that's how they pretty much manipulate your client, because money's money, $15,000, But also you can tell, okay, fine, then we'll go somewhere else and see what they respond. Because there's another builder over there too, So, but you gotta educate your client. You're working for the client, making sure everything is good there. So that's what you have. Any questions about this? No, pretty simple. All right. What else we have? Golden rule. There's features. Got the buyer's consult. Done that. Buyer's consultation. Action plan. All right. Putting all together, the action plan. Practice your buyer needs analysis with your team or partner. Practice all the scripts, team or partner. Practice the buyer consultation and objections with your team or partner. Next class, bring your phone, laptop, tablet, database. Okay? So you can be making phone calls. For next class, you have there, page 57, I think it is? Is that the one? No.
Next class or mission 7?
That's a mission.
That's mission ready.
It's okay. Basically, you're gonna complete your daily 10-4, write notes, report, bring supply of note cards, practice scripts, complete the activities from the action plan, the previous power session, grow your database with current contacts, bring your prepared contact list and laptop to the next Ignite. That's what you're gonna have. So, let's see. Let's recall and remember. What are some ideas to find buyers then?
Open house.
Okay. What other one?
Divorce parties.
Divorce, plenty. Divorce parties, okay, like that.
Bridal show.
Bridal shows. Remember, this is real estate just in cycles. Where to find it? I mean, how about first-time home buyers? Apartment complexes. If you want to mail them something, find out how much they pay for rent in that building. For that amount, you can own a home. You can team up with a lender that can provide financing for that particular payment. What will be the mortgage loan that they can get? And so you can own a home for what you're paying rather than paying for somebody else. If you are friends with somebody that has an apartment complex, when their leases are going to be up, so you can target them too. Schools nearby where you live, if you want to sponsor something for them in exchange for referrals. You can tell them, I'll donate to your PTA $500 if anyone can bring me a buyer or a seller. I'm in the neighborhood. Attend HOA meetings, committee meetings, whatever. If you have in an area that there's HOAs or condo association meetings, so they get to know you and you're the realtor. Okay, that you can provide information about our neighborhood. Properties are selling for this much and stuff like that. This is what's happening here. You can be part of that. Referrals from other agents. I have received last week calls from Chicago, from Colorado, from Arizona. Agents that I know you're an agent in Virginia. Put my name down. If you have anybody coming to Arizona, I'm your guy. That's what they, we have, if you see in our Keller Williams, we have a white pages for Keller Williams. Just select any state and you'll see the names, numbers, contact information that you want to be calling them. And if you have anybody coming to this area, check the military bases where they are located. Find agents there because sometimes they come to the military bases in the area. So that's another one. Okay, what is list price to sales price? You respond to that one. That was final sales price, right? What buyer pays for a home. Expressed as a percentage. Okay, what are the three phases of the home buying process? No?
We cover that?
Well, not exactly with that question, but it was the pre-approval is a lender's determines how much money the buyer will be eligible to borrow. They will know exactly the price range they can afford. They'll be able to take action quickly. Sellers will be more likely to accept an offer from a pre-approved buyer. And finally, they can see if there are any errors on your credit report and resolve them right away. But anyway, that's another thing that we didn't touch. As far as when you represent a buyer with a good pre-approval letter, this is what I do, representing a listing. I interview their lenders and see exactly who I'm dealing with. Sometimes they will say, who? Got a letter from you. Oh, yeah, but still needs to send me information. That's not a pre-approved. That's pre-qual. Not even ready yet, okay? So if you have multiple offers, you're not going to select that one. You're going to select someone that is very solid. What is a needs analysis? That's the buyer needs analysis that I gave you. It's, I mean, this, it will help you capture a precise picture of what buyers are looking for, so you can provide exactly what they expect. Okay, another question is, how many contacts in your KWEH database by the end of Ignite you will have? 200 or more. How many contacts do you have today? How many? 3 contacts. 10 by today should have been 100, but we skipped 2 classes, right? That's right. Okay, from ahas to achievement, any ahas in this class? Anything that you learn? Anything? Nothing?
How to talk to the buyer. Yeah, we had-
Okay,
have it.
Where to find buyers.
okay,
Writing registries for down payment.
okay. So at least there's something. You remember that there's lots of tools that we have. You just need to ask, where do I find it? Okay. What else? So you're gonna, in KW Connect, there are 3 videos that you want to watch. There's one, prepare to work with buyers. It's about 8 minutes there. Then there's a buyer's consultation by Nikki Ubaldini. I think it's listed in your, but that's a 20-minute or 21 minutes. Then there's also finding first-time home buyers. Those are the 3 videos that can help you with the buyers. And use the tools that we gave you. There's also in that the buyer lead sheet. You've seen that in the module. Print that to make it easier to take notes too. And there's buyer needs analysis, the one that I gave you. The open house job A, there's also there. And email me so I can send you the operations manual for the MREA book. Okay? Because that's going to help you best. And you'll find lots of forms and things like that. Then also connect with social media. There's a Keller Williams Facebook page, the blog. There's also a website, inman.com, that provides with a lot of real estate information. On our Market Center page as well. Okay? And that's pretty much it. It's 5 minutes to 3. Thank you very much. And remember what I said at the meeting for the committee that I am. Let me know if there's anything specific that you need. Especially you guys that come from different brokerages, you just need to be Kellerized, okay? There's stuff that is a bit redundant, but you already have seen it. But sometimes we made a mistake of, and that's what I did. When I came from the other office, I tried to do what I was doing and pick up something from Keller Williams. It didn't work out. So I had to restart all over again, rather than, Kellerize and add some spices that I picked up from a different brokerage. That will work for you. And we have everything. Only ask where to find it, okay? One more time. All right? Thank you very much. When's your next class, Ed? No. For financing, lenders and stuff like that?
Okay. The third Saturday,
either the second or third Saturday. I've got to check the calendar again. Tim does his first home buyer seminar on Highway, which is great. Whether you're new agent, old agent, you can bring anybody you want. That's a really good seminar. And then I do one on investment property financing and home renovation loans. And that's the last Saturday of the month. But just check the calendar, it'll be on the calendar. But I can switch it off. And, I either do investment property financing or home renovation. I'll do either or depending on what I'm doing.
So the first time home buyer seminar?
That's it. I think it's the third Saturday of every month.
Right. How many of you that show up to that don't have agents?
Actually, I don't know. I have only taught it twice, and I had a room full of agents and clients. But it's typically newer realtors and who are bringing clients or clients who have a realtor. Realtor that said, hey, go to this class. It is very, very good. I'm a little jealous because I didn't. It's for anybody. It really is. It's just for anybody. It's really good information. He condenses it all
There's
down.
no sign-up sheet, right? No sign-up sheet?
Even if you don't have, you should, as a real estate agent, you should know the difference between a USDA loan and a VHDA. Or
You just write your name there.
You say, yeah, I know what that is. Here's the person who's an expert. Yeah.
Just your name, just your name.
It's different.
Yeah, I want to have a list of participants here. Can you write your name?
You can buy a $500,000 home in Virginia with zero down. It's called VHDA. $500,000, no money down. Zip, nada.
Thank you.
You can pay for the appraisal and home inspection of your homeowner.
Just your name. Do you want to have who's been
I
here?
will give you the money back for the
Appraisal.
Yeah. So you can pay for a home
Thanks.
inspection. You can buy a house. You have to have a job. That's not.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Well, yes. Now, those days are gone when you didn't have to afford the mortgage. Jorge did a really good job. He always does a good job.
Can you watch this remotely? I know tomorrow I can't come.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's the link? Because I've
You might get from Dave. Want to write it down? Write down your name.
And by the way, those brownies are going to get thrown away.
Kelly.
Back here. Somebody takes them home.
Good idea.
Tim, you need to take them home.
I'm actually good.
Oh, I think she sent that.
I didn't bring you a coffee cup, but I do offer you brownies.
Thank you.
That's gonna be, I have a cup of Joe, thing on my Facebook page.
Thank you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they.
Are you?
No, it's a separate instructor. Yep. But I gave you homework.
Do you have a card?
I don't, I
They give you a card? Oh,
right now, my biggest problem is this. How come now Firefox?
Take the brownies. Take them. Your husband, brother, neighbor, family, son. Come on. I went to a lot of football games.
Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah, I made it
I
to
tried to see if it worked. And
I think
Then I
that's
made
probably
it back
why, 'cause
with the entire package.
it didn't work for me either. And on my phone.
Oh,
And on my phone on this app, it's not there. And it wasn't that
Are
hard.
you kidding? For a 15-year-old, that's
This
perfect.
is.
And this young
Let's see
lady.
when you have time. Because, you've been experienced agent, sometimes certain classes are like boring. Done this before, stuff like that. So see what you need exactly. Where you need to be.
So here we are.
I was on.
I should have not messed with
Right.
it when you did it before, but now look, it's like edit profile. There's this thing. And you have a thing. Why don't I have it?
Didn't make sense, but then it's like,
Why don't I?
okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, let me know.
Before y'all go, from the art,
We are meeting Monday for some Martin Luther King.
I know, I keep, I'm sorry, I thought
Yes.
I
We
just
are
like.
meeting Monday. So we are gonna meet on Monday. We are
You wanna
gonna
log
meet
in?
on Monday.
Oh, I guess that's.
We are gonna meet on Monday.
I'll see you Monday.
Yeah, well, no, you can see me tomorrow, right? Okay.
Why are we not meeting?
Tuesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Monday,
So
Wednesday.
tomorrow is the
Tomorrow is.
It didn't work out
Jackie.
online, so I went edit profile.
It's about selling your house.
Yeah.
This
is 5 o'clock.
No, let me see. There, though.
You mean with Eric?
Go there.
Okay. Remember, you should be wrapping up your. Okay, she wrapping up her name, sure.
Is there anything?
Here we go. So you can't go in the other way.
How are you, my friend? Happy New Year.
Same to you. So you like what I talk about you guys
Perfect.
and how we need that
And I
partnership?
told Sheila, I said, anytime
Thank
you
you.
want one of us to teach